FS25 is truly a beautiful game out of the box. I'm your host, the Rental Man Buck, guys. I'm going to be giving you my thoughts and review, really, of Farming Simulator 25. Let's roll the intro and get started with our day. First things first, guys, we really have to understand the level of detail that has been put into this map. It took me forever to find out where that water tower actually was. But jumping right into the store, the first thing that I would say is a con for this game is the way the store is sorted now. We used to have it where it was, oh, this is like your tractors and your drivable things that could be self-propelled. And they had the trailers, the pallets, and so on and so forth. They do still have the identification system where you can separate those things out. But now in the main store, everything is tied under one roof. So you have to like scroll to really find this stuff. That's probably the most hated thing that I have out of this game so far. So I just wanted to get that bug out of the way. It's not something that obviously couldn't be fixed, or a mod might come out for it, but that's about the only thing that I've really found so far that has driven me up a wall. For all of us that pre-ordered the game, they got this wonderful MacDon included with their copy of Farm Sim 25, but otherwise you guys can purchase this as a DLC. I don't know if I'll have it by the time I post this video, but if I am able to get you guys a link to purchase the MacDon system for your farm, then I highly recommend checking it out. The MacDon in real life, when you're in transport mode as they call it, you actually drive the swather in reverse, and that is awesome that they gave that to you in Farm Sim to make it logical to how the actual swather works. The quality of the model and the way this thing actually works is second to none. Like, there's the swather pack in FS22. This, I would say, tops that mod. I'll just head over to the side of my field where I'm actually able to cut some grass, and I'll show you guys quick. During our live streams, you guys were noting that the hay system looks a lot cleaner and more realistic this time around than it has in previous copies of the game. However, I do notice that the grass looks really glossy, so that's kind of the only downside. Finding our way back into the store, I do want to showcase to you guys some of the things that have brought out the best in Giants. I did get to drive the dirt bike once, and it was pretty good, to be honest. Like, the way the bike handles, the physics, the only thing is maybe how it's balanced. Not the greatest, but it's definitely something that we've not had in the game before. I've driven around this thing how many times already? I already love it. I'm going to use it more in the future. I wanted this thing for the longest time when I saw it was listed as one of the game vehicles. But the cherry on top of it all is the Series 200 International pickup. This is basically the starting game pickup that you guys can pick up for a really cheap price. And it's the first branded truck that Farm Sim has given us. You can put a trailer hitch on it. You can even put a toolbox in the bed, and then it's got a wonderful array of colors. They just all look really good on this truck, to really be honest. We obviously have all of the different auger wagons, and I noticed this right when I got into the game. This is my favorite auger wagon so far. Like, the Demco 850, awesome. Yes, the J&M is great. I really was excited for it, but the split second I saw this thing, I'm like, yep, that's the card I'm going to use. I've been playing on this save for quite a few hours now, so let's actually jump in probably one of the most anticipated trucks that I've ever seen in Farm Sim, especially from base game, the International CV series. It's also a Chevy 5500, so we really have our first actual big 3 truck in the game, just branded as a different brand. I'll take you guys on a little bit of a map tour as we explain some of the rest of the mechanics and changes to this game. The fog adds a lot of realism in the morning hours. Now, it kind of can get a little aggravating sometimes because it gets annoying with the headlights, because the headlights pick up on the fog, you know, kind of like real life, and it blinds you. You can't put on the brights. Riverbend Spring, though, promises a lot of great content for probably even years to come. Riverbend Springs is by far the most detailed map that we have ever gotten from the base game of Giant Software. But I also think that they did a really good job spreading out the way the map feels. One thing about all of the other maps that Giants has done is they have like one little area that has jam-packed full of detail, and then the rest of the map's just vacant. Not this time. You can just explore this map for probably a couple hours, and all you're going to do is just continue to keep finding things that you haven't seen yet. I'm pretty sure this base game map is bigger than some of our previous installments. But most of all, I think the best upgrade has to be to the foliage on the map. Our trees look so much better compared to previous games. Maybe for once, Grant Hilbert will not be scared of the trees, and maybe not even scared of grass. Speaking of those two things, let's jump up into the build mode and see what's all changed in that. In the build mode, we have a lot easier way to get around the map. You can zoom out a heck of a lot further, and you can really move. I mean, this is the top left field on the map. And yep, that is the bottom. So the days of not being able to get across the map with your landscape tool is over. Also found this earlier. That is the biggest ripoff I have ever seen. I feel ashamed. I think we need to get involved. Don't you ever disrespect Buc-ee's like that ever again. You only have 2 gas pumps. Get out of here. You're a disgrace to the gas station community. If you don't know what I'm getting at there, that the Duckies is based off of Buc-ee's, the famous Texas gas station. Using my soybean field as a little template, we have all of our generic buildings that we had in 22. But now, from the base game, we have buildings like the Quonset. We also have some other rather large buildings. I think, though, what really sets this game apart is the incorporation of older, I mean, beat up older sheds. This is something that we have been after for however long, and we just haven't been able to get Giants to do it. You have this old shed, massive barns, and not just one, you got like 5 of these things. So really, really cool. Sadly, we can't like change the colors because sometimes barns like this, it would look really cool if we can like change that to red. But really, really long steel buildings. This is something that I would picture seeing on like Welker Farms up in Montana. Even technically have a car garage. Doesn't have, I don't think it has a door, but at least it's somewhat a garage. And then little sheds. Factories did stay the same. Pretty much got the same models besides stuff like the tailor shop. If we were actually able to walk into that shed, that'd be a really nice looking like hobby shed in the backyard of a homeowner's. Our animals, we did get a couple of new models. I don't know the first thing about all of the interactive pastures that they were talking about, but it's just nice to see us finally get certain things that we've been asking for the longest time. The chicken coop's a really nice addition. I like those. Chicken barn, updated fence models, got a couple different street lights. Holy cow. And the other section, which not all of these are just decorations. Some of these, like this little tool shed, is actually in a garage. Like you can open up the doors on it. Which I'm curious if this one, because this shed did not open in 22. Does this open now? I don't have a vehicle sitting over there, so we're going to take the dirt bike. I should have a helmet on, but I don't. Who cares? If this door opens, I think I'm going to be a lot happier to use these carports. I mean, I also like the fact that we just have carports from base game. Okay, that does not open. That is sad. But for a shed like this, we do have that ability to open the door, and that's just great for gardening. Like, if we have a homeowners and you just want to put something in there, it's super nice to just have this stuff for everyone. Like, everybody gets this. This is not like a PC-only thing. We even have some buildable sheds that you guys can build with the production systems. And then our traditional sculpting tools, which did retain the same from 22, but we did get new paint textures. And I suppose that's going to change on the maps. The trees, you can actually change the size of them, unlike previous games where you had to like go through all the individual ones. Now you can just size them up. And we got a lot of foliage. It is not just 5 trees like it's been. We got a bunch of new stuff. So overall, the build tool, I'd say, is significantly more advanced than it was previously. Still retains a lot of key aspects, but can't really complain too much. One of my favorite things, though, has to be in the farmlands. Like, of course, any other map, you can't buy anything in town. If we get mods like Easy Dev for console, that'll change to where we could work on things like the football field, which there's a football field. It's like right up here. It's really cool. But pricing is not that bad for this game, and they give us the option to have acres and hectares for American versus European units, and it'll tell you how big the area plot is. So 5.15 acres, 12.6 acres, 3.45, and the list goes on and on. Contracts is something I have yet to mess with, so I can't really give an opinion on these. I've really only been able to play the game for a couple hours, so only time will tell if they're really as good as Giants has summed them up to be. Production chains, the biggest thing I noticed, because this is the first time looking at this menu, is it looks a little bit easier to understand what you're trying to buy or trying to work with, but it also seems a little cluttered. I think that's kind of the story of this new UI is the clutterness of it. I do like the way the grain prices in the markets and you can see all of this stuff works. That is really nice. I believe one thing we need to do though is we need to see how this new AI though, not the UI, the AI works. We'll just use the base game AGCO Challenger. I know for a lot of us, we get fed up with the way the AI has been in this game for years at this point. But when I say they fixed what they were doing wrong, they fixed what they were doing wrong. Don't mind the government subsidy signs, that is besides the point. But if we drive into the field, you guys can already see the ground deformation. Actually, wow, you can really see it behind the swather. But for a field like this, you could just press H and the AI would know what to do. They're gonna follow the path. But if you want to really dig into what the AI is doing, this is the AI settings. You have two modes, the steering assist, which is literally just guidance steering, and the AI worker, so pressing H normally. It gives you the option to set how many headlands. You can work the headlands first, or you don't have to work them at all, and then you can skip lines, and again, so on and so forth. The steering assist I've messed with just a little bit when I was doing some hay work, and it did work, but there were also just some little bugs, but might fix itself over time. Let's head over to the canola field and we'll be able to see it. Pretty ground deformation. All right. Let's get this thing on the road. You guys also probably saw that, how the pressure washer moved. Well, the AI gets itself set up to start. This is my favorite thing in all Farm Sim, all right? We got the Andy Clean Express on line 1. I am going to abuse the ever-living bejesus out of this, all right? I'm going to do it. It's going to happen. Please tell me it has a horn. It does not. Okay, that's sad. But really nice. It's the same model, but I'm glad that we can actually just move it rather than having to be a placeable. That's always driven us nuts. It's driven me nuts that I can't move that thing. There's people that made mods for it, but it was just nice that we don't have to worry about that anymore. We also got really cool trucks in the base game, like the International Transstar. Cab Over's got a really, really solid model, and it just feels... It feels like home. For us in the American market, we've been waiting quite a while for a game that actually had the feeling of our area rather than just having to have mods. I have no idea what this AI is doing. I think they're trying to figure out that they need to be right here. This is a really bad example. Oh, wait a minute. Scratch all that. I forgot. The AI is actually smarter than I am. In tillage work, you always do the passes up and down first and the headlands last. So you can set them to do these the way you're supposed to. The AI knows which way it's supposed to do this. I need to learn a thing or two. One of the last things I'll actually cover with you guys is the wardrobe. The wardrobe has retained a lot of the stuff from 22. I'm not a big fan of the beard system because, as same as the store, we used to have the ability where you could put the mustache facial hair and the beard facial hair on separately. Now you can't. Now it's just pick a preset and go with it. Not the end of the world, but got a lot of great new clothing. We even have a tank top. That's one thing I wish we had had in 22. So really cool. Really, really cool. And we got this cool hat. This is the cool hat club, Jake. Animals in this game are obviously a lot more extensive than they've been in years previous. That is going to be something that is fun to mess with when we start bringing over the Hay Farm series. In my humblest opinion, I think this will probably be the greatest installment of the Farm Sim franchise. We've always had our problems. We've always had our quarrels with Giants. We're still going to obviously have issues. And jumping into the International to just kind of cruise around and view the map, this game will have a lot of things to build on. I'm really excited to see what the Giants Engine 10 can offer to us modders. I've already snuck into some of the modding to see what it's going to take to convert, and by the looks of it, the coding is relatively the same, but the biggest changes are looking to be coming through the editor side, not the coding side. Let me know down below, guys, because Farm Sim has already come out now. If you guys have bought 25, what is your take on the game? Everybody definitely is able to have a different opinion, and some might think they'll just stay back with the old games. I completely understand all of that. Here's that football field that I was talking about. And if we're able to get easy dev where we could just paint grass on this and come out here and mow it, that's going to be awesome. The character interaction menu is definitely one for the money. If you haven't seen my showcase with Uncle Walter yet, I highly recommend going to check out that video. I don't know exactly how many of the characters there are scattered around the map, but so far David has probably been the most interesting that I've interacted with. I think what I'm just in love with the most on this game is the attention to detail. There's just so many little things that they've done this time that I just can't really find a reason to complain about. Even the crunch of the gravel is just so much better. Other than continuing gameplay, I think that's really all I have for you guys on my review of 2025. I'm just as new to the game as you guys are, so I have a lot to learn and really a lot to see what this map has to offer, or just the game in general. So thank you guys all for tuning in. Finishing out our day, I'm going to head over to the Sunny Farms. This is a sunflower farm, and in the springtime, this place is absolutely beautiful. So I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day, and make sure to keep it light, keep it loose, keep it fresh, and most importantly, keep it fun, guys. I'll be seeing you all in the next one. This is the Rental Man out. Peace.